is 6 a.m. and I woke up this morning to the most beautiful sunrise on Monfalcone beach. Good morning. I already hear sounds from the construction site nearby, so I think it's a good time to wake up. Wow, but check this spot. As the sun rose over the horizon, I noticed that more and more people were starting to make their way onto the beach. I already hear some lady yelling at her dog, Geronimo, Geronimo, come back. Yeah, these mornings always surprise me somehow. Eventually, my stomach started to make noise and I pulled out my cooking gear and started to preparing some breakfast. So this is my backup food, classic Vietnamese pho or ramen. I bought this gas canister and here I have my canteen. True Italian wurst. So the sun is up and I prepared this delicious meal, ramen noodle with true Italian sausages. So let's eat. As I sat there eating ramen noodle and watching the waves, I felt grateful for this simple yet perfect moment. After breakfast, I decided to take a walk along the beach and explore it a little bit. Beach, which is called Lido di Staranzano. Just yesterday evening, this was all under the water. And wow, look at that. I'm walking. And there are people cleaning up the trash from, I don't know. So, the food was great. Nothing is better than your own cooked food while camping. Tastes so great, and if you wake up in the spot like this and you eat your ramen, it tastes 1,000 times, million times better than when you just get your breakfast served at the restaurant at the hotel, right? Eventually it was time to pack up and head out. I made sure to leave my camping spot clean and fill up the wheels on my Brompton bike with more pressure before setting off. Yeah, so we are packed up. The plan is to get the water really fast because we used almost all water for cooking, and follow the route because now we are officially on Eurovelo 8 and we are not in a hurry. There still will be, I don't know, 700, 800 kilometers. But I hope that we have the worst behind us, that part from Trieste to this town. So let's start the day. I hopped on my Brompton and followed Eurovelo 8 route. The roads were tough and full of gravel, but I was determined to make it to Grado because I was running out of water. For the next 3 hours I rode through plain farming fields while smoked by unbearable heat. My body was starting to get sore from all the bumpy roads, but I knew I couldn't give up. Along the way, I saw a lot of retirees on e-bikes smiling at me, and when they saw how I struggle with fully loaded Brompton, that encouraged me to take a deep breath and keep pedaling, determined to reach my destination. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I arrived at Grado, a holiday town where I could fill up my water, resupply, and explore local beach. As I made my way to Grado, I found a supermarket that had free bathroom, and I took that opportunity to clean up a little bit, wash my clothes and upgrade my Brompton with the solar panel. So my Brompton setup gets better and better each day. So I got the rear mirror. After one day of use, it is a lifesaver. I'm totally glad I spent 13 euros. About the phone holder, I'm worried about my phone that the shakes from the road might damage my optical sensor. But the convenience of having a map in front of you all the time, just on a tap, on demand, is incredible. And I was to be able to move with confidence through the city way faster during the evening than if I would have to stop, put my phone out from the pocket and then look at the navigation. With the phone in front, it's much easier to navigate yourself during the night. And of course the last addition is that the solar panel that I've attached to the front of the Brompton sea bag. I don't know if it works. I would rather have it on my backpack, but let's see. After a few hours, if I see that my power bank's charge just a little bit, I will be happy. And the only thing that I'm missing is the kickstand. But I understand that this is just a typical bike and you cannot have everything.
My next challenge was to find a place to charge my electronics. I stopped at a few cafes, but they didn't have power outlets and were too expensive. Then I remembered seeing a bus station earlier and I made my way there and was relieved to find a power outlet.
The ticket lady told us that we cannot park here, but I'm going to try the power socket. Yeah, the game is on.
However, I couldn't stay with my bike outside, so I decided to go and explore the local beach instead.
So this town is called Grado and I'm walking on a very nice promenade along the sea. There are mostly apartments and hotels. And I think at the end of this promenade is yet another beach. We will check this out, see if it's better than the one that I'm coming from. I'm very curious. Then we will get back. So the other beach is not that crowded and seems to be more shallow. Alright, let's go back and do a walking tour.
I couldn't resist the temptation to go for a swim and I spent an hour enjoying cool water and the burning sun.
So guys, the water is incredible. It's warm, very nice, and because the shore is so shallow, you can just lay on the water and it's very relaxing here.
As much as I loved chilling on the beach, I knew I had to make some progress. It was time to say goodbye to this amazing place and move on. The next 20 kilometers was a bit of a letdown. I spent most of the day riding on busy roads and it wasn't as exciting as riding along the seaside. As the heat became almost unbearable, I knew I had to stop and take a break. I spotted a pub near a train yard in Torviscosa and decided to check it out, hoping to cool down and regain some energy.
Whew, guys, last stop before Bibione, because I think the next 20 kilometers there will be nothing. So I found this place, small bar, and ordered a beer and an ice cream and fruit one. This is a small beer which costs like 2.30. So cheers. Not bad. It's not the same as Czech beer, but yeah, it's perfect for this weather and for biking. And totally understand why people just drink alcohol during bikepacking. It should be a great refreshment. Just a water with sugar. But I totally take it.
The beer knocked me down and I had to take a short nap on the bench. And when I woke up, I took a mission to find a water source soon. And I got lucky after like 10 kilometers or so.
Since there is not enough sunlight, I think I can end this test of my solar panel that I connected to iPhone. I think I've been riding for past 1 hour and I started with 30% on iPhone and Right now it's 37%, so it's mind-blowing that even though there were parts of the route that were in totally shade, it still gets enough sunlight, it still gets more juice than the iPhone takes. And that is under condition that I'm using only GPS. So my iPhone is on airplane mode and I'm using GPS for navigation, nothing else. Oh, and display is on almost minimal brightness. So here you go. You can be totally sustainable using a solar panel with your Brompton tied to the front. If there's enough summer sunlight, you can ride all day long charging your phone. And by the end of the day, your phone will still be either full if you start full. For me, that's a great deal.
At 6 p.m. I noticed dark clouds forming on the horizon and my alarm went off. The forecast had said that it was going to rain that night and I had no tent to keep myself dry. I knew my best bet would be to make it to Bibione before midnight, where I could maybe find a place to camp. There were still 35 kilometers left to go, but I was determined to outrun the clouds and find a shelter before the rain hit. 4 hours later, I arrived at the famous beach town, Bibione. I was starving, so I fired up my Google Maps and searched for cheap eats in the area. To my disappointment, there was only one place open at 11 p.m. A pizza takeout place that only accepted cash. But fortunately, I had exactly enough coins to buy a small capricciosa.
It's close to 11 and I just found this quick eat. It's a takeaway pizza and this is how it looks like. It's more than I expected, and just because this is an Italian pizza, even the fast food one.
Even though the pizza was tasty, I still felt a bit hungry and I was ready to call it a night and find a place to camp. So I made my way to the beach and started searching for a spot to hide from the rain.
So another observation, this beach is pretty busy. There are people cycling back and forth. People are walking and just exploring. Yeah, like these guys. And one thing you will notice is that they always stick to the path. But there are a few tourists who go off beaten path. I was looking at one of those tents. It's too close to the path. The last thing I would want is that someone call police. So we have to wait till midnight or till 1 when everyone goes to bed. But it's Friday.
I needed to find a quieter spot, but I realized that there was nowhere to hide.
Guys, again, a big orange moon on the horizon. That's so amazing. So we are walking to the sea because I want to know how many people are there and if there are any structures that will help us to stay dry overnight.
So beach itself was mostly empty, but there was still people hanging out and the area was well lit.
I don't like that big light. It lights everything at the beach, and I'm curious if there are any cameras and if anyone is watching what's happening on the beach. But I saw the tents and I saw young people just laying there and chatting, which means it's free to use, I guess. So we can put our sleeping bag under the tent and yeah, just try our luck.
I was afraid of being exposed, so the plan was to wait. However, thunderstorms on the horizon became stronger and louder, so I knew I had to act fast before the rain hit. At 2 a.m., the rain started to come down and I decided to sneak into a public toilet. It was better options than getting drenched in the rain. I was fortunate that the toilet was big enough to accommodate my Brompton and camping gear. I then set up my tarp on the ground and tried to get some sleep. While the original plan of sleeping on the beach didn't work out, I felt thankful for having a dry place to stay overnight. It was a challenging day and I learned that stealth camping on the beach in a popular tourist resort town is close to Mission Impossible.